Hi everybody, we're here to watch the game of DZG Olympus versus Capedogs Valor. Tonight's going to be a very contentious game with these two being ranked third and fourth, respectively. DZG Olympus is third, Capedogs Valor is fourth. I'm Power Over Ethernet, and I've got Ace here today with me as my co-caster. How are you today, Ace?
Hello, I'm doing great, but how are you?
Doing good, good. What are you thinking as far as the draft goes so far?
I have some previous experience facing Olympus, and I feel like they do really well when they play towards their jungle mid. So I'm really looking here for jungle counter pick, maybe a mid OP power pick as well, maybe like a Corki.
Yeah,
Maybe mid.
I would say Victor. If it wasn't for the fact that Victor was literally banned right now, I would agree with you on that. I think Corki is a very possible champ that we're going to see tonight
Very,
as
very, very,
well.
very possible. Olympus has a very great style of playing super forward to enable the jungler to get some really impressive invades off, along with a lot of early objectives. So I'm assuming they're probably going to try to pick something like double range Caitlyn Karma, maybe some Caitlyn Lux, or actually Lux is
I would
banned.
actually go on the side of we're going to see a Jinx first pick here from the side of Olympus.
Rules
The
does love
most
him some
played
Jinx.
champ from the ADC of Capedogs Valor currently is Jinx. Um, the two champions he's played all split, and there we go. We see respectively the Jinx ban coming through in order to prevent a favored pick for ADC here. As well as that Corki you were talking about coming in for R1.
Indeed, 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 indeed.
I think they'll go ahead and match the mid pick here with maybe something like a Zed or some kind of safe like control mage here.
Possibly see the Syndra into the
Oh,
support pick.
Lulu. Lulu kind of OP, understandable.
Lulu is indeed schmuck. With the
Especially,
Lulu, I'm kind of maybe expecting something like a Kagwa, possibly.
yeah, I think
The
we're gonna see a
Philios, maybe.
hyper carry on the Cog Aphelios here.
Hmm.
I think if they go for the Cog, they're gonna want to look to go for a really strong scaling bot lane, and they're gonna want to play towards their top and mid in this scenario.
That will be fun. As I previously said, the Olympus love playing through their mid jungle, so a lot of skirmishes. I'm hoping.
Yeah, especially when you look at the stats from Capedogs Valor, they tend to have a higher average kill per game. They tend to have more drags and objectives as well as deaths than in comparison to Olympus. So you're gonna maybe see a lot more high risk, high reward play from them, and maybe some more attempts to try to be aggro, get some kills, and secure some early leads on the side of Capedogs Valor.
Rules patent Ziggs pick. I'm kind of expecting maybe a Morgana coming in from Genshu, maybe.
Maybe so.
That's pretty AP heavy, so maybe not. Maybe jungle pick, yeah.
That strong Hecarim just for the scaling and map presence. I mean, especially right now with how this preseason is shaping up, we're seeing a lot of like full clearing junglers again. It'll probably stay that way for a while until Riot decides to nerf jungle into the ground again.
I agree, I agree, I agree. Heartbreaks Hecarim is something to fear, may I say.
Yeah, no, as like a jungler myself, I mean like Hecarim is just a stapler for any jungler to understand. So
Kled.
seeing the Kled here is not a surprise. If you look at the drafts from Capedogs Valor, they've tended to play like a Kled top or something like that, giving them a good engage tool from their top laner. I think that's his kind of primary role, some kind of bruiser engage in the top lane. So matching it with the Aphelios is actually not a bad idea here because it kind of forces everyone to focus to Kled, who's just straight dive bombing your team while Aphelios throws shurikens at everybody. Or chakrams, excuse me, for anybody who's about to correct me in the chat.
Top counter pick for Olympus. It's actually a pretty big deal, though.
Yeah, especially when Tofu likes to play safe, engage bruisers as well. And I may be a little ignorant to the fact of how well that matchup goes, but it gives the ability that if they were to have gotten that Malphite top, it wouldn't have mattered how lane state went, so long as Malphite can press R effectively. So I mean, it's not a bad choice by Capedogs.
True, very, very true. Really on the ban, one of the biggest issues for Aphelios is super hard dive. So
Absolutely. I honestly I'm expecting a Ornn top here to be. I think based on how I know Olympus plays from my experience as an Olympus team member, I think we're gonna see like an Ornn still here. There's no ability to cancel that Ornn ulti right now, and it also
mm,
provides them the ability to have a strong scaling into the late game with Ornn items.
Sandra.
Good lockdown. I mean, if the moment that somebody tries to go onto Lissandra or vice versa, oh, the Camille. Um, one of
It's
Tofu's,
a Galio.
yeah, the Galio ban I think is a good choice for a safe mid to engage and roam around the map, especially if you want to play for something like your top or bot as a mid laner. So we will see the Camille locked in here. This gives a good matchup for the Camille. It gives aggressive ability, good lockdown. So you're never gonna really see that Aphelios or like a Lulu get away. And like that, we're seeing even more lockdown with the Nautilus hover. I'm sure this is gonna be locked in. Oh, what's going to go on here? Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And I think it will be the Nautilus here. Yep.
A lot of pick potential coming from Olympus.
Oh, almost immediate lock-in from the Zinzao. So pretty much, I think that the Zinzao here is going to be looking to play very hyper-aggressive early, and maybe get a pick onto the Ziggs or Corki here. If he's unable to do, because ganking the Camille top is going to be almost pointless, and they're going to want to spend more of that time in vulnerable lanes. So maybe a early like busted flash from the Corki mid, and then a lot of time spent in the bot lane. I think is where this Zin is going to spend his time.
Definitely looking to see if they can get the Aphelios ahead. For sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
The faster Aphelios scales, the harder it is for Olympus to really be able to play the game. Considering the fact that he has a Lulu, it makes it so
Oh,
hard to dive to like dive Aphelios. You really gotta make something happen early if you want to really stop him from
as
becoming.
hard as that is, keep in mind that we do have the Camille, Nautilus, the Hecarim, the even Ziggs ulti here. There's three champions that are gonna dive onto this Aphelios, and do some serious damage early. Like, especially like if this Camille gets an early kill, the Sheen procs and the Divine Sunder procs onto anybody is gonna be a nightmare.
Very true. 1500 true damage coming through. Can't forget about that. So, what
Yeah,
do
and
you
then
expect Olympus to want to do to be able to get the early game going?
honestly, I think that they're going to want to play towards towers and objectives here. I mean, with the Corki, the Ziggs and the Corki, you have the ability to play safely while also being able to press and pressure towers here. The Hecarim is going to have the high mobility to play around and facilitate these people to actually get these towers and objectives. Um,
Mm.
Generally speaking, Hecarim is going to be more useful than Zinzal, just for the fact that, I mean, he is going to clear faster. His gank potential is a little bit stronger, especially when you look at the fact that Ziggs has the Nautilus to peel him. The Camille has the E for the quick dash, and the Corki also has a good dash that keeps him able to play safely in lane and be aggressive at the same time. So I
Mhm.
think the Zinzao is going to have a hard time here, and I think to the best of their ability, Capedogs is going to want to lock down their laners. They're going to want to go ahead and hit them with a lockdown from the, Lissandra, the Lulu, silence, and it's going to be one of those situations where you hit them with that silence or lockdown, and then immediately the Zinzao is going to come in and go ahead and try to, like, knock them up immediately after.
Some nice looking wombos on both sides, may I say.
Yeah, no, without a doubt. I mean, I kind of like the Wombos more because Ziggs big splash damage, Hecarim big splash fear. Um, it's gonna be a definitely water park experience from the side of Olympus. But I mean, I would not want to be locked down by anybody on the side of Capedogs Valor. You're gonna be there for at least the entirety of your death.
Yeah, you are absolutely getting bursted if you get caught by them.
Yeah, and I definitely agree to that. And with this finishing up, I think we're going to be going into a break here as we wait for the spectator delay to get started. But this is us from the casters here at DZG. We're looking forward to an awesome game. Before we cut to the break, who do you think is going to win? Make your early estimate.
I think it'll be Olympus, man. I don't know. I just every time I see Heartbreak on my screen, he's just hard carrying the game.
I mean, you mean the one of his 5 identities and summoner names he's had?
5. I thought there were 10, bro.
But I like to be a contrarian, so I'm gonna go ahead and say Capedogs Valor for tonight. They've got more stats on the board, stats-wise, other than the fact that they have an additional loss. I think Capedogs, just all around stat-wise, other than the one loss, looks better on paper. I do like this side of Olympus's draft more, but if the side of Capedogs Valor is able to snowball the way that it looks like in comparison to how Olympus plays, they're going to be in a real spot to make a win here. And with that, I think we'll go ahead and hit our spectator delay, and let's hope for the best and a fun game. And welcome back to DZG versus Capedogs Valor. This is going to be an exciting one. I think the third ranking versus the fourth ranking, the 1-to-1 matchups are always the most exciting. I think that leaves the most room for... Oh, and we're pretty much to an immediate pause. Hopefully it's a short one.
Yeah, as you were saying before, a close match between third and fourth is always fun. Whenever you get two teams who are neck and neck in the rankings, just makes the game feel more intense. Then the win feels more needed.
Oh yeah, the pressure is absolutely on. You don't want to be the team that loses their ranking to okay, and it was a quick one, thank God. But yeah, no, it definitely we're currently seeing a early invade by the side of Olympus, which makes sense.
In trouble.
Yeah, this Kled looks a little bit slow.
Little flash.
Yes, failed flash. This is gonna be a first blood on the side of Olympus. That is absolutely awesome. They give it to the Corki, which right now, from my understanding, Corki's busted. And yeah, okay. I think that it's gonna be like a good advantage. I think it would be smart for the Corki to go ahead and back, maybe get some kind of like maybe long sword or something, kind of make it worth his time.
Or maybe even a tier. The Monomune Hydra build is absolutely insane once you get that Monomune stacked. And being able to stack it right off the bat, just when you basically spawn into the game, would be absolutely incredible for his scaling.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's going to be great. I mean, plus you consider that he's going to give 1 day, for same day delivery for each package that he brings to the table. It's going to be awesome.
Both bot lane leashing.
The standard stuff. They'll go ahead. I think the thing that'll be important to look at here is that the Hecarim is going to opt for a full clear. At least he should, based on how the advantages of Hecarim in this matchup works out. And the Xin Zhao was going to go for a 3 camp clear roughly into a gank, and we're even potentially going to see a level 2 gank from the Xin Zhao, which really wouldn't be that bad of an idea. It gives him the advantage. He potentially busts a flash on one of the lanes that he ganks. But we're actually just going to go ahead and see him do a 4 camp, getting his wolves early and moving from there. Bot lane is currently just trading. I mean, I think we're going to see some very tame, very normal early game stuff from our laners here.
Both bot lanes just looking to really scale and farm up to their second and third items.
Early, very aggressive engage with very little follow-up from the side of Olympus here. Kind of surprised that we saw something that aggressive without, like maybe a bomb, maybe a miscommunication from the bot lane there.
Yeah. Rose is really just going to clear the waves, just trying to really lose lane gracefully. I feel like that's what Lulu are going to be looking to try to get pressure in the bot lane. Hopefully so that Xin Zhao can maybe get play dragon pressure. I mean, it's going to be kind of a bounce back and forth between both bot laners for a while.
Yeah, so we're seeing a quick little trade from here on the top side. I think it's nice to see that Camille has the CS advantage. It's not much, and it doesn't really mean a whole lot, but it's definitely a good sign and a good feeling to always be the one winning in that department. Now, this is actually where we're going to see some additional tension. The Hecarim is going to collapse with the Corki here onto the Xin Zhao. It'll be interesting to see if we actually get some real tension here. Seems like we have a spectator bug going on right now. It's freezing up on us. And so here we are. We're seeing the collapse right now onto the Xin Zhao from the Corki and Hecarim. Getting an E on for the Hecarim. We're going to see another kill onto the Corki here. That's incredible. This is going to make his laning phase even more enjoyable to be Corki. They're going to go ahead and try to probably look to shove this wave, take a cheater, get a nice little back on, and get some good item advantages here.
So the Hecarim looking bot. I think it's possible that maybe Rose will want to try to bounce the wave back and look for a bot gank. Doubt it though, but it's very plausible.
Yeah, right now it's gotta feel bad for the Xin Zhao, and even the Kled right now. You've gotten first blood onto you. You're currently losing in the trading department, and it's gonna be unfun to play into a Camille who is just kind of pushing you in. And and we're seeing an aggressive E and Ignite from here. I think because we don't see a follow-up auto or ability onto the Kled, he's going to be absolutely fine. I think that may have been like a mana issue on the Camille, and maybe the Camille ran out, was unable to actually fully get her combo off.
Mm-hmm.
I know that the Kled doesn't want to back here, and he gets his mounted back on. He's going to be okay.
Yeah. The 2 kills on the Quirky, I feel like he's going to be a really strong part of Olympus's gameplay this game. I just wondering which build he may decide to go, because the shield build is actually very viable this game. With the Kled, Jin Zhao, Lissandra, the survivability would be incredible for his dives. And since he's so far ahead, he will already be covering whatever damage that he may feel like he may be lacking with the shield build.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be interesting to see what he chooses.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on the Corky build. I think it gives him the ability to play safer and survive any kind of burst that he might see from the Lissandra Xin Zhao combo here, and maybe even some Ophelio burst. He's gonna have the advantage, like you said. He's currently, up on CS. I mean, it's gonna be negligible because so long as the Lissandra kind of trades here properly, and gets her wave, it's gonna be like. What? Okay, so yeah, we see a 2 CS difference here. But the key thing is obviously the kills. The extra 400 gold you're getting is going to be incredible from the 2 kills.
Agreed. And I also wonder how the Camille versus Kled matchup will go, considering the fact that you obviously kind of pick yourself, or Camille picks, Olympus picked Camille to counter Kled, and starting with the fact that he already died, just down in CS, really unable
and I think we might even see like an all-in here. Yeah, he's going to go ahead and try to play really aggressive here, try to keep the wave off from turret, so that he doesn't lose a whole lot. I honestly think that Tofu is going to look to engage kind of hard here in a little bit, since the Kled hasn't hit 6 yet. And as soon as his E up, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a hard engage by the... Oh, we'll see here. Yeah, so here it is. Here's that engagement we're following up, but it's a dash away, unfortunately, by the Camille. And now that we're seeing 6, it's gonna be kind of just a regular trade here, and then back on even footing. The window is kind of gone, especially with the Ignite being gone. It's not that surprising, but what are you gonna do? You missed your window. You missed your combo by running out of mana as Tofu. I mean, it's. Hey, you just kind of play it safe, wait for 6. You've got Sheen right now, so you're in a good place. I think it's not a bad situation to be in.
Very, very true. First Drake, Hex Tech Drake. I'm wondering if Olympus will maybe try to soon play towards this dragon, considering the fact that their mid laner is so far ahead, and their bot laner has the ability to...
Yeah, and it looks like we're getting another spectator bug. Riot's client at its finest is kind of being an issue, but, I think we've got 2 incredible sounding casters and probably good-looking casters here to kind of keep us through that little scuff scenario.
I don't know, bro. I don't think anybody is as tall and handsome as you, bud.
Well, I'm like 5'4", 5'5". Okay, so my driver's license says 5'6". I'm 5'5". But on Tinder I'm 6 foot, as the great words of Little Dicky.
Of course. And then when you wear tennis shoes, you're 6'1", so
exactly. Better. Thank you. I think the other things that we want to look for here right now, as we have this awkward break, is the advantage, like you said. I think the ability of Corky to go ahead and get Prio here is gonna be massive, especially as you start looking towards this drag. If you take a look at the vision around the dragon right now, Olympus has total control. They see everything right now, and they're gonna be able to kind of position aggressively, bait any incoming junglers. So it's not a bad idea for them to try to set up some kind of situation. They're forcing in this bot side here, and they've got the prio mid bot. It wouldn't be bad for them to try to get this early Drake, and then maybe even look at a early Herald here. Yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and take a quick little break while we wait for these spectator delay issues right now. Hopefully this resolves itself, but as soon as we get back to you guys, we'll be more than happy to cast you guys for the rest of this Olympus versus Valor gameplay here. Okay, so we are back. It seems that we kind of lost our point in the game here, but it looks like we did actually get exactly what we were casting. The Olympus was able to get that early Drake, and now just secured that early Herald. I think the way that the lane states were playing between bot and mid gave the ability for Olympus to secure that. We're not seeing anything changes except for the fact that Aphelios now is 2-0, which is a big deal, and we're right back to a pause. A little awkward here, but I think this gives us an ability to try to play catch up and hypothesize per se as to what happened here.
Well, what I'm assuming probably happened is that DZG started the dragon, and when Capedogs decided to try to come and contest, they got caught by Camille TP. Seems like Rosengishi maybe got caught out of position, insta-bursted by Aphelios and the Lulu. But
Yeah,
the kill does fall onto the Camille in the Heck Room, which is really great for their top side.
yeah, I concur. I mean, like, I think other than the fact that Aphelios is now 2-0, and 86 CS, you know, to his counterpart, who has 79, is not a bad one. Plus, if you really think about it, they weren't able to get the shutdown onto Corki, which is obviously a good thing for us, since that's gold not to Aphelios, a hyper carry, when he has his massive guns.
Right. You know, you okay.
And so we're actually going to take a break here again, as we're trying to troubleshoot these issues here with the spectator delay. Oh, okay. And just like Riot's massive 200-year coding system is at our fucking leisure, we're back to the game.
But you know, you expect the Zignalas to lose bot side. It does suck that Aphelios has 2 kills, but you don't need too much gold to find a lot of success on Ziggs within more of like a team fight in a skirmishing area. You just kind of want him to survive and just keep up best he can. And I mean, DGG's top side is so far ahead. The Aphelios is not as big of a threat as he could be, as long as they can hold and actually push their lead.
Oh, yeah, I totally agree with you. The thing here to consider as well is that while Aphelios is going to be strong right now, just because he has the advantage to his Ziggs counterpart, he does provide the same splash damage unless he has the right guns. And the thing is that he always has to be on the right guns for him to be as effective as we know Aphelios can be. He is as strong as Jinx, but at the same time, it doesn't have the same consistency that we were kind of looking for from like a hyper ADC carry. And so we're actually seeing the engage from the Lissandra.
No one, it seems.
Yeah, I guess she did decide not to take it. I was kind of expecting her to go ahead and take the E, maybe get an ult on to the Corki, try to force that shutdown. It might have been a little bit risky since Heckram still has the ulti, which is probably why they didn't do it, but I think that they were gonna want to look at like a very serious advantage here. Like, they're gonna want to try to generate something. Especially to try to keep this Corki from becoming too large and in charge for them.
I'm wondering if they're planning on making another play towards the dragon again, and then maybe look for second Rift Herald to completely break mid. Once you get Corki into a side lane, as strong as he is, I mean, he is so hard to stop.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree with you here. I mean, I think that getting out of lane is not necessarily going to be the best, the worst thing for your ADCs here. Especially if you can get the Ziggs to crack open a tower here on the bot side, and then maybe look to go ahead and rotate towards the mid and crack open the mid here. The best thing about having Ziggs is that his ability to tear up some turrets is incredible. So we're actually looking for the engage here from Lissandra. The Hacker ulti is here. We're seeing another kill onto this Corki, which is gonna be incredible for him. You know,
it seemed like Capedog seemed very disjointed in that play. It seemed like the Ninja and Lissandra were really looking to try to fight an early game skirmish. And it seemed like their bot lane was a little lagging behind on coming in with that decision, and it really costed them with their teamfight positioning, I think.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you here. The fact that the lane state for Olympus on the bot side is pushing into their Capedogs turret gives the ability for Olympus's bot side to actually rotate towards that skirmish earlier. They have the ability to go ahead and collapse on the Xin Zhao. Xin Zhao obviously had to ult to try to prevent some of the damage that he was going to receive from the side of Olympus. But ultimately, because he had no ability to escape, which is the problem when you play Xin Zhao, and you're not ahead, is that you can't really escape these kind of skirmishes or engage. So we're actually seeing a miscommunication here from the side of Olympus. I think if we would have been able to actually get a full Rico off there, we would not have seen this kind of loss of the Nautilus support here. I think based on how this has played out, we're not going to see the second Drake go to the side of Olympus.
I think that's actually a pretty big deal to really stop the early game momentum that's coming from Olympus as well. They also got both TPs out. Or I'm sorry, they got the
I think we're actually going to see the Corki death here, the lockdown from the Lissandra ultimate, and a quick follow-up from the rest of the team. But,
a trade.
Hey, a trade. That's not the worst, not the best. We're actually going to see the ability from the Ziggs to actually come out here, get this turret. The flash comes out, follow-up flash. Xin Zhao is going to absolutely lock down this Ziggs. But maybe we get a return here. No, we will not from the Hecarim. It's going to be the Hecarim
may just
run
be
away.
Dead here, maybe.
No, I think he's a little too healthy. Plus, you know, if you look at the fact that he's got like some yeah. The Camille is actually going to get some good engaged onto this Xin Zhao, but the Qued's going to be nearby. Will the field be able to actually get a return kill here? I you know, was kind of hoping for the best, but you know, expect the worst, I suppose. The Camille obviously dies, greeting for a kill onto the Xin Zhao, and maybe even a red buff.
I think also too is very sad for him because of the Kim Drake map change. That while he was running, he went to go E into Xin Zhao and went straight into a Kled that was completely invisible.
Yeah, you know, one of Riot's great ideas from preseason dispatch was the fact that Drakes were going to be, you know, a little more important with the Chemtake soul here. It's going to be pretty rough. The fact that the largest win rate for Drake Soul right now is Chemtank Drake is not a shocker when you can literally get a zombie mode, you know, free Scion passive, but you can use abilities is going to be awesome for whoever side gets it.
May I say, as a main who turbo instant solo queue a lot, I love it.
I don't, because I play champions that die easily, and I think the ability to get run down by undead, you know, like Camille, for example, who's just gonna like come off of like her revive animation, E back into you, and crit you for everything you're worth, is not like the most fun idea of a game here.
Hey, very true. Very, very true.
Like, think about it. I mean, if you look at the abilities of the two teams here, if Cape Valor is able to secure these, the soul, think about it. You just killed Xin Zhao, you just killed Kled, and all of a sudden they're literally just dive bombing you, despite the fact that you may have won the trade or outplayed. Nothing matters when you have like a free guardian angel, you know, light diet guardian angel. Oh,
Not
so
to mention that the extra damage that comes from the Kim Drake when it comes to tank shred and HP production, I think it is.
Yeah, and so if you look at the two teams here, the only person that's not going to benefit from the ability to deal more damage to champions with more HP than you is Olympus. I mean, Camille's going to be relatively healthy. The Hecarim is going to be relatively healthy. The Nautilus is going to be relatively healthy. Lulu, Aphelios, Xin Zhao, and Lissandra are going to be lower health than the rest of their counterparts.
Right. Indeed, indeed. An interesting drag soul, may I say.
I wish it was deleted. So we're getting a lot of aggressive pings onto the Corki here. I think that's kind of a waste. Your Xin Zhao is way too far back, and Corki is too fast to really be in danger there. You know, it's kind of a bad feeling that, like, you know, you're gonna run halfway across the map just to watch as the enemy mid laner just goes ahead and recalls.
feel like they're feeling the pressure of really needing to stop the Quirky. Or he gets some bombs already 18 minutes in. He's almost done with his second item.
Yeah, so think about it. Your Lysandra is 149 CS. Their Corki is 146 CS. You know, that's 36, 38, I'm bad at math. So let's say 42 CS, I think is what is it, like, depending on which creep he got. It's actually going to end up being kind of negligible. But the fact that he has 4 kills and 2 assists, and he was able to get first blood, kind of ruins your chances here to be able to properly engage and properly trade with the Corki. We're seeing them go side of DZG going ahead and trying to bust open the mid lane here. There's going to be a Lysandra on the flank here, which I think is going to be exciting. The Hecarim ulti's in. He goes on to the Helios. The Helios is getting bursted down, but a Lulu ultimate comes in, but it's not enough. And we see the side of Olympus go ahead and drop the Ziggs ulti. And Lysandra is dead here. The Camille is 1v2ing currently. Will they be able to make a trade here? No, it does not look like that's going to be a thing.
Cute.
But we're going to actually see the side of Olympus be able to re-engage onto the Xin Zhao here. The Nautilus is coming in. The Hecarim is being bursted down. The double knockup from the side of the Nautilus plus the EN, I think that's awesome. I genuinely think that Olympus should just go ahead and get the drag here. They might not be able to get the inhib, but that's not necessarily the worst thing for them right now. If you think about it, 20 minutes in, getting the inhib is not necessarily worth it for the fact that you're just going to be feeding gold into the enemy team. Yeah, you're generating pressure in the mid lane, but you're giving the ability for super minions to just flood into that ADC. There are Helios who is just going to go ahead and take a bunch of gold for free.
Right, and I think you're completely right. It's just better to take the Drake, reset, get ready for Baron vision. You have TPs on both solo laners. You get Corki down there to continue to scale in the bot lane, and you're just in a really, really good spot to just in the game pretty soon, to be honest.
Yeah, the fact that you're up 5k gold right now, and your carries are giga fed and CSing very well, is a position that you want to be in. You have the ability now to go ahead and force these objectives. You can go ahead and try to get a tower bot lane. You can go ahead and try and get a early Baron. So we're going to see the Kled try to engage onto the Corki. Corki's just going to E out with package. He's going to be totally fine because, when you're airplanes airplanes in the night sky like shooting stars, who's really going to stop you?
I don't think there's anybody in the world. DZG's surely going to try.
He's going to go A for effort. He actually lands the W here, but he's not going to follow up with it. We're seeing some early vision control. The Lysandra is just going to go ahead and bait and get some vision, try to get some damage off. But what do you think right now is the ability for Capedogs to actually really get back into this game?
I think it's all about Lysandra engage. She has to find... Her and Xin Zhao have to really work together to find a way to get on top of this Corki. If you can't kill the Corki in anything fight, it doesn't matter if you pick off Ziggs, it doesn't matter if you maybe push the Camille out of the fight. If you can't kill him, he will carry. Through sheer rockets. So it's really up to them to kind of find that division and take a lot of risks to really put themselves in a good position to find a way back into this game due to picks.
What you're saying is that Capedogs Valor could really use a wish right now.
Yeah, there it is.
You see, there's a a callback to my earlier joke. Super clever. Just like this this vision control situation has been kind of a real not so clever trade for Olympus here. They finally are able to get this vision control that they've been so desperately seeking. And it's immediately replaced by another pink ward. It's been almost impossible for the side of Olympus here to try to get this vision control that they've been looking for. So we're going to go ahead and see the Nautilus ulti, the Helios ulti. The Hecarim is going to try to 1v2 here onto the Xin Zhao and Lulu. I don't think that's going to work out for the best for him. The Nautilus goes ahead and ulti as well. It's gonna be a close one here. The Hecarim goes ahead and ults in the opposite direction. The Kled is diving in from the carries of Olympus here. But the Kled's all by himself. The side of Capedogs is all really low. The Helios is just getting splash damage right now. It ends up being a pro trade for Olympus, but not by much here. luckily, the two people that died in this on the side of Olympus were the 3-3 and 0-3 bot lane. So it's like could have been worse. The Hecarim barely lives out of that trade. The Xin Zhao, you know, dies. The Corki lives, you know, barely, but it ends up working out for Olympus. You know, not necessarily the worst trade, not necessarily the best trade.
Yeah, and you know, Lissandra still has TP. Camille and Corki don't. That gives them a bit of an opportunity to try to pressure the side lanes a little bit.
Yeah, no, but we've been seeing that all game. You know, the advantage that the Olympus has right now is enough that it gives them to kind of pressure these side lanes, kind of generate pressure while the fact that and even get these towers, which has led to their 6K advantage right now, almost 7K. With the next dragon coming up here in 50 seconds, we're seeing Olympus trying to take advantage of this and recognizing the fact that they have this advantage. They can just go ahead and force this vision control. They can go ahead and force and poke out their counterparts. But right now we're seeing the danger pings here. Okay, so we're seeing a hard engage on the Xin Zhao, the disengage. I think this is actually not great for Capedog Valors. Xin Zhao has already blown his ult. That's a big tool to negate the poke and range that Olympus has. Hecarim is going to be on the flank. I think we're going to see a collapse here potentially.
I feel like Capedogs just have to give this dragon if they die here.
They're tough.
Just get dragon and Baron. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree with you.
Just have to leave.
They do. I think Olympus should just go ahead and try to force this dragon. Let's see if they engage onto you. But this is their Drake. This is Soul Point. And
like you said earlier, though, the real strength for Kim Drake that comes for Olympus this game comes strictly from the soul. The buff in itself doesn't really affect them too much. Oh, I forgot it's
called. Okay, we're saying hard engage, good wombo combo. The package, it's Amazon delivery day, and we're seeing Olympus hard engage onto this team here. It's incredible. I think the Corki flank there was enough for them to break this base open and look to maybe even try to get an end here. It looks like what they're going for, they have the lead. They're just going to go ahead and dive bomb the side of Capedogs Valor. I think we're looking at game here. This is not necessarily the early game victory that I expected from Olympus. GG's here. There's nothing that Capedogs can do. The advantage that we saw from the early game has lasted the entirety of the mid game and into this end game here. Very well done by both sides, but I think the ability to keep that lead and be consistent was incredible from the side of DZG.
So I wonder how that goes for the rest of the series. I mean, having somebody just basically walk up and just kick down your door has to really hurt internally for Capedogs.
Yeah, I agree with you here. It's gonna be a fun one. I think, and I hope that Capedogs gets the gumption in their soul to go ahead and try to really come back after game 2. But just by looking at the game stats, if they aren't careful and they let the enemy mid lane essentially get the Corki, get some kind of hard carry, it's gonna be different. I mean, it's gonna be difficult to even win there. Their vision scores are obviously in the favor of Olympus. Both subs obviously taking the advantage and win here inside of vision. But you look at all across the board, Olympus did better about managing vision control, about getting objectives and taking their early lead and spreading it across the rest of the game. I think it's a very well done job by the Olympus. I mean, look at Corki, fucking 27k damage, total damage out. It's gonna be a tough one if they let something like Corki slide in the side of Olympus.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely fun to watch, may I say.
I mean, I'm always
quick level 1 action, absolute domination from Olympus. I
don't think that the side of Capedogs Valors is gonna, not expect the early invade there. Maybe an early kill onto the Corki there.
Yeah, no.
Okay, and I think that we're going to take a pause here for the break in between game 2, between DZG Olympus and Capedogs Valor. Let's hope the game 2 is as good as game 1, but we'll be back. Okay, and we're back with the DZG Olympus versus Capedogs. We're literally speeding through draft as production tries to like get us caught up, but we're seeing fast bans. Capedogs has banned the Victor and the Corky, no surprise there. So they're hard banning mid lane this first ban rotation, followed up by Olympus kind of just banning the same things that they banned game one. It seems that Capedogs took the diff there and was like, let's ban it out.
Yeah, I mean, that mid laner for Olympus, Mr. Mobster Penguin, was like an absolute threat last game. I feel like maybe they think that if they target their mid, that they'll maybe have a little bit more like breathing room for their mid laner.
Yeah, they don't want it to be the streets of Chicago, you know, with the mobs. So we're actually seeing the hyper carry threat from K-Dogs again, you know, being the Aphelios. This is not surprising based on the champion pool that the ADC plays. He's been mostly playing Jinx and Ezreal as his secondary. Kind of surprised that they didn't take the Ezreal here. But I think that what they're looking for is potentially a lot of consistent damage across, you know, their entire like team fight. But we're seeing the same thing in the bot lane. We're seeing the Ziggs be the ADC. We're seeing him be able and willing to take that trade and give him the ability to just chunk towers left and right again.
Pretty much. I think it's also too like a big thing for bot lane to be able to stay safe, because as we saw, like if Olympus can get their top side of the map going, like they will push that as hard as possible, as fast as possible to a victory. As we saw by the unexpected end off of I think it was a top it was like a Baron team fight. It was incredible.
Yeah, no, so it ended up being like a battle for vision control there that we saw end the game. So we're actually seeing double hook champions here. I think that's not necessarily a bad idea considering the fact that I don't really feel like was it a Morgana was the support?
It was it was a Lulu.
Lulu. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was there. You know, I didn't really notice it was there, so it kind of seemed like I couldn't remember. But I actually do enjoy the Shen pick here. So I think the Kled pick, while safe for what their Capedogs likes to draft, is good. But I think for how much damage is being put out and how much more active the Camille felt, for the fact that Camille was just more, you know, like meaningful in that game, makes the Shen a good pick here. If you're trying to play to the Aphelios and you're trying to play to that like hard ADC carry here, you want to have something that gives the you know, the extra shield. So you're getting the in-lane safety of the Thresh Lantern and Flay to get away from there. And now you're having the Shen ulti post 6, giving you that extra little oomph.
Heartbreak on the Nocturne.
So, I mean, yes, that's not going to be great for Aphelios. Like, every time that Nocturne ulti is up, either mid or bot is getting ganked. And it's not going to be fun for either of the recipients there.
Yeah, as a man who plays the AD role on a daily basis, Nocturne is my worst nightmare. Pun intended.
I mean, I think that's good. I think Fiddlesticks is more of a nightmare, though.
Maybe. I don't know.
So we're seeing the Mordekaiser ban here. I think that they're trying to eliminate strong solo threats from Tofu here. But the question is, do they leave Malphite open? Do they leave the strong engage up for like an easy like team fight play?
I honestly have no clue.
Honestly, I don't really see any new bans coming from Olympus. Yeah, like we see the Gallios ban, we see the Xin Zhao ban. Like, so, like, yeah, the Xin Zhao ban's new, but like, if you're gonna try to make somebody uncomfortable, just ban whatever they decided to default to. You know, it's not a bad choice by the side of Olympus.
I mean, that just shows that they're confident in their practice, right? They have a game plan and they just want to completely stick to it.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree with you here, and I think we'll probably just see, based on we'll see another mid ban here. I think is what we'll see. No, another top ban. That I think honestly should be a compliment to Octofu in the top lane. The fact that you're going from like you know, Camille to being like, just F it, we're gonna ban everything and try to force you into specific matchups is it's got to be a compliment.
Definitely shows respect, but I think it also shows like the idea that they maybe want to play like a super hyper carry style comp. So I kind of wonder what they're going to pick in jungle, considering they have the Shin with an Aphelios.
The J4 here, I think, is good. It gives the ability to lock down members of Olympus, and so if chakrams are up on the Aphelios, you're actually gonna see a good bit of like damage come out. Like, you know, you get your ulti, you get your chakrams, you fucking just melt everybody in the Jarvan pit, and it's actually not the worst idea. I think the Cassiopeia is good here for the fact that you know, Monster Penguin plays a ton. That's his bread and butter is the Cassio. I'm not gonna pretend to be knowledgeable enough onto the Cassio into Ahri matchup. I think the Ahri has the advantage for the poke here, and the fact that Cassio always has to go into the Ahri.
Yeah, it's definitely kind of more of a skill matchup. It's can you lock the Ahri down in her R, and are you like actually able to dodge her charm? Because if you are able to lock her down in her R, it doesn't really, unless you. It's one of those things where it's like if you can lock down the Ahri, you can kill her depending on what stage of the game you're at. But it also requires a little bit more like footwork, I would say, because if you get hit by the charm, obviously you're just turbo dead.
Done so, yeah, absolutely.
So it definitely favors the Ahri, but it's not necessarily doomed.
So my only criticism in the draft of Olympus here is that we don't see a consistent ADC damage here, like from the side of Olympus, like other than Nocturne. Like everything else is AP damage or like very minimal AD damage. Like, yeah, the Nocturne exists, but that's not your like main damage source. You know, like I think the Hecarim provided more AD damage than the Nocturne. But if you're just looking to just go ahead and burst down certain like carries, like if you really think that the Aphelios is that much of a threat, and you just want to lock him down all day, every day, and just like kill him instantly, I mean, it's not a bad draft, but I am worried about like the lack of AD here.
Yeah, things can definitely spiral out of control if things get out of hand, for sure.
The only good thing is that I don't really see them building a lot of MR. Like, you know, MR items are like okay right now. I think if you build them, like, you're not trolling anymore, but I don't know that you're gonna see a ton of it. Like, maybe you might see like the broken crown, like, you know, shattered crown on like Ahri or something, but I don't know. I'm just a little torn based on the drafts for this game.
It's a bit interesting, but it'll be fun. So I guess that's cool.
Yeah, but the only good thing is that Cassio gives the ability to just melt, and I mean absolutely melt objectives, you know, as things are going. So what do you think is going to be the win here? I want to hear your opinion.
I don't know. I feel like I like Capedogs draft more, and I feel like they have a lot more opportunities to get things done. I also feel like if Olympus falls behind, like they're never gonna be able to really catch back up.
Dude, I can't let you be a centrist here. I need you to pick one or the other. Which team?
Capedogs. I go for Capedogs. I think.
Okay. So now that I've like denied you the ability to be a centrist here and like pick, I'm gonna go ahead and pick the side of Olympus as a true contrarian, and just pick the opposite of whatever you say.
Of course.
Yeah. I mean, come on, man.
Can never be too synergized, man.
No. Of course not.
I don't know. I feel like Olympus put themselves in a comp where everything just has to go right, and anything goes wrong is very like scary, I'd say.
Yeah, I think the thing here is that, like, are you going to be able to burst out the champions that you need to burst out for this comp? I mean, with like Thresh Shield or like potential like Jarvan lockdown, are you gonna get through that enough to actually get like the Cassio? Are you gonna get the Ziggs? Nocturne, you know, in theory might just int into you, but like, you know, if you're just AFK by yourself top lane, bot lane, mid lane, you're not getting out if they're baiting you properly.
Very true.
But I don't know, man. I think this is I always want a good game, but I maybe we'll see a game three. What do you think? Game three, yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, okay. And with that, we will take it to break, and we'll skip through the spectators delay and get back to you guys with another quality game. Okay, and we're back with DZG Olympus versus Capedogs Valor. I think this is going to be a good one. As much as I like to be the contrarian, I know that in the break, you brought up some valid points. Why don't you bring them up, Ace?
Oh, I'm sorry. Repeat that.
During the break, you brought up some very valid points about your opinions on Olympus draft. I'd love to hear them, and I'm sure the audience would too.
I mean, I just feel like with the Olympus draft, like it's just so hard to execute. If I just feel like there's a lot more options to make a team fight or a scrimmage work on the side of Capedogs that Nocturne's Charm.
Okay,
Flash
so
maybe.
Do we see the first blood? No.
No.
We're just gonna see a reset here. Olympus went ahead and placed their ward anyways in the river bush. It gave them the ability just to be like, okay, screw it. We're just gonna play safe. We're gonna back up and we're gonna move forward. We're not seeing the hardcore engage that we saw from Olympus game 1.
Yeah. And to continue the conversation about like Olympus's draft, it's just so hard for them to get their damage off. I mean, even if they come into you, it's just super hard to reliably get enough damage off quick enough before whoever is getting J4 Shin ulted isn't dead. You know, it's just kind of it just feels almost impossible for them to like synergize well with their comp to even make anything work. But I mean, it could just be, you know, in ego comp, we all believe that we're better than you, so we're just playing comfort picks, and like we're just gonna beat you with that anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I can speak to the Cassio and I can speak to the Ornn here as a comfort pick. I think that bot lane is currently on comfort picks.
Oh yeah, Reels loves him some Ziggs.
The only thing I can say is that I can't necessarily say that Nocturne is a comfort pick for you know, DZG Heartbreak, as he likes to be known now as of this week. But I mean, it's not like any jungler has never played Nocturne. You know, it's not like that's impossible for you.
I mean, you know, you never know. Like, he could have been practicing it in the Shadow Realm to whip it out this week only.
Oh yeah, I mean, you just summon all 5 god cards, you know, or Exodia, and then you just move forward.
Exactly, bro. You just win for it.
Yeah. Okay, so we're seeing a little good, healthy skirmish here from Ornn. We're seeing the early gank from the J4. I think we're actually going to see a busted flash here. He walks up, but who gets the flash off here? Okay, and so it moves back to the to safety. He gets the trade-off and just Ornns things up here.
Oh. Survives the gank there. There's a flash. I wonder if they're gonna try to maybe convert tower dive later.
Yeah, no, they're gonna actually go for the repeat gank here. I think it's I think Octofu's just screwed here. You know, his E gets canceled. He either gets the kill first blood, and he does not. It was either going to be in his favor or it wasn't, and it so happened to be not in his favor here for the E cancel and the first blood.
The bot lane for Capedogs getting some nice chunk damage off on Nautilus. It makes it really hard for him to want to engage. He's already half HP, so more farming.
Yeah, I think outside of that, the jungler engage. Oh, okay. So I speak of the.
Never mind.
Yeah, and so we're seeing the ignite burn by the side of the Capedogs, and Capedogs get it here. The ignite burned by the Thresh actually makes it, and then we're seeing the follow up onto the Cassiopeia, but the Cassiopeia is getting massive damage off. Kill onto the Cassio. And so we're gonna see potentially a very strong Cassio as the game proceeds. The Cassio is up 2 CS, is up a kill, and I think unless we see another major intervention between the junglers, you're not going to see that exact advantage flip the other way.
Seems like once again they're putting a lot of their
Big
faith
hook.
into
Failed
to a misplay though.
Yeah, that feels bad. The Nocturne's gonna be coming down. This is gonna be a kill for Olympus. On to the Ziggs. I wanted to say that that Capedogs was taking the advantage that they had gotten and actually just going to generate more of an advantage, but it seems like they're balancing things out here.
Yeah, just a bit of some mechanical mistakes, but everybody's human.
Oh, the big hook here, but there's going to be very little follow-up, and the Shen is going to be coming bot. But there's double TP here. The J4 is going to go on, but he's going to be like
no flash
fail
on
here
Cassio.
with the flash. But the Cassio is going to die here due to the Ahri. The Nautilus is going to die here as well. This is going to end up being a very pro Capedogs play here. And I think the TP plus jungle help there made the world of difference.
Hell of a interesting start to the game. 6 kills in 6 minutes.
So the thing to remember here is, though, is that like the Capedogs does do well here. Their stats go ahead and prove the fact that they have the ability to play more aggressively than Olympus does. While, you know, game 1 might have been an outlier for Capedogs, that's up for debate, but the only thing that's going to put the money where their mouth is this game. Are they going to be able to play better than Olympus here with the early aggression and the early plays?
Well, so far, they're off to a great start already.
I mean, they have the early Drake. They're probably going to look to take this advantage and try to get maybe an early Herald or something. And I think it'll work out in their advantage to try to generate and continue this lead in these lanes.
I also wonder if they're willing to swap their bot to mid or top for the Rip Turtle, considering that Affiliates has a 2-0 start. Maybe have the jungler come down bot lane, get the wave pushed out, have the bases, swap the lanes. Just have immediate team fight pressure from Affiliates and Thresh.
And it looks like we're having another spectator bug here. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and take a quick little break here, try to break things up and maybe fix this issue. Riot at its finest is always still buggy. Okay, and so we're back. After restarting the spectator game, we're back to the game. We're a little minute ahead, but it seems like nothing has really changed here for the game state. The Affiliates is still ahead. The Olympus still is down in as far as gold goes, but it's not a significant enough advantage for it to make the world of difference here. I think we're seeing some decent poke off. The Nocturne ulti here, the hook off, and this is going to be a shutdown onto the Ziggs. Are they going to continue this dive onto the Thresh? We see the poke come out from the Ziggs, but that's going to be the end of it here. As we talked about in the pregame here during draft, it's going to be a major, part to play as far as the junglers go. They're going to be the make or break for a lot of these lane states here, because it seems like right now, you look at the top lane, you have an orange Shen where it's mostly going to be some trades, little nothing. And then you're going to have the mid lane where the Cassio can kind of just disengage from the RA so long as they properly play that that ability to lock them down. And then you're going to have the bot lane, which is going to poke out, and the Thresh, I feel, is just not going to have the ability to engage here. But as I talk about the ability to not have to fight there, the Cassio does take a significant trade.
Indeed. I mean, the shutdown on the Ziggs is huge too. Right, like you never complain about your poke champion have a large amount of gold.
I mean, when you think about it, I mean, the Philios went from having a shutdown to the Ziggs having a shutdown. We're seeing the EQ flash onto the Cassio here. The Cassio dies here, and we're going to see the follow-up death onto the Nautilus. The Nautilus roam very clearly did not work out for Olympus here. And now we're seeing the Nocturne being run down by the J4 Shen. Ornn will likely roam, but I think all that really ends up happening here is a loss of buff onto Nocturne.
Maybe they're gonna pick him off, maybe?
Yeah, they're gonna take the Blast Cone over and actually look to follow up engage here. So we have the flash stun onto the Shen. So now we're gonna see that that DZG Heartbreak is going to die. The Ornn is going to fall here, as there is 4-2 here. The Nautilus is going to die next. This is gonna be a tough one for Olympus to recover from. Capedogs is going to go ahead and follow up with the Herald play here. They're gonna look to get more plates and generate a further lead from this position.
Very true. And now the Ahri is like absolutely huge, man. It's like absolutely gigantic. I mean, at this point, he pretty much can kill anybody he chooses.
Yeah, you know, like as Michael Scott used to say, how the turntables turn. And so we're seeing the roles reversed here for the side of Olympus to be in the position that Capedogs is in. We are now seeing Olympus having to play from behind. And I think that'll really be deciding how, you know, let's hypothetically say that Olympus loses this game. This will decide how we see Game 3 play out. Are we going to see the team that is somehow behind from a bad early play be able to recover from that and make a game of it?
So, I think also though too, like in this game, I'm wondering like how hard Ahri can push her lead if she's really willing to, you know, pour her J4 and start like perma diving this bottom lane. It's getting kind of harder and harder for Rose to kind of keep the wave from under his turret, considering the fact that Lophilios is literally walking up to the wave and they're just pushing him off of it somehow. So I'm just wondering if maybe she'll try to do that, or maybe she'll try to put this Ornn even further behind. You know, the roaming potential of Ahri is crazy, and I'm just curious as to how he may use it.
Dude, the e-girls out there are screaming. The Ahri is crushing it right now and proving that you can do anything that you want right now. But we do see the missed Charm Flay. We're seeing the Nocturne ulti come in. You see the Cassio ulti land. We now have 3 members of Capedogs under tower, but nothing comes of it. They get the dragon. They get the dive play to work out for them. It is going to be tough for them to recover, for Olympus to recover from this. Everything that could go wrong in this circumstance is going wrong.
Very true. And, you know, like I said in draft, if anything goes wrong, it's so hard to make anything work with this complicated for Olympus.
We're going to see, I actually think it's kind of a bad play by the side of Olympus to cancel that Shen ulti. I think that would have amounted to 2 deaths to equalize some of that gold there. But, I mean, if you see that your enemy lane Shen is ulting onto their Ahri, yeah, you know, it makes it even worse. And now we're even seeing Olympus potentially dying under tower here for the Nautilus. But he's going to actually make it out just enough. The J4 is actually going to kind of int here, I think, to try to get this kill. He's going to get the kill. Will he get 2 here? He gets 2! That is impressive. And we're going to actually see the TP play come in. And will Ahri be able to actually just dash and flash into their team? No. Nothing is up from the Ahri. We're going to see that the play goes on. But this is still net positive for the side of Capedogs.
Very much true. That top lane is starting to get a little rough for Mr. Ornn there.
Yeah, as this 3-0-5 Shen, granted he is down 24 CS, moves on. He's still fed. You know, the 20 CS difference does not count for the 3-0-5. You know, the 0-3 Ornn does not necessarily beat the 3-0-5 Shen here in this situation.
Not simply, anyway. Who knows? It is Olympus. Maybe
you know,
they'll find their way back.
Anything can happen. You know, dreams are just dreams until they make them reality. You know,
like that one dude Shia LaBeouf said, dude. Don't let your dreams
only memes be dreams. Yeah, exactly. I agree. What do you think is going to be the make or break for Olympus here to come back?
I feel like they just need to scale the lead of their Ziggs. Maybe try to find a way to stabilize the mid lane, because it's starting to get a little bit out of hand. And if they can get these 2 ahead. Miss Charm, he also worked for free here.
Yeah, but does Cassio, who is in the middle of a bad space, able to recover from this? We're seeing the TP come down, the Nocturne ulti, the J4 ulti onto the Cassio. The Cassio's down. We're now going to see that the entire side of Olympus's team, we see the Nocturne, the Cassio, the Nautilus die here. The only thing that is going to keep them in here now is whether or not Ziggs can actually survive this onslaught We see the flash busted, but this means that the next time that Ziggs is out of position or Capedogs really wants to force onto them, they're in danger. The Ziggs is going to give a shutdown the next time that he is in a bad position, like we just saw in this team fight.
You know, it's going to be like incredibly hard for him to kind of find any space to not get dove, you know? I mean, between a Fed Ari, a J4, and a Shin, like, there's not really much he can really do if he wants to participate in the team fight. So I'm curious as to how he's going to try to find these creative angles to get his damage off without getting caught.
Yeah, if only this league was played on Mondays, because then we could just say it's massive mobility Mondays with the side of the Shen, J4, Ari, Thresh. Like, there's a lot going on here, and the ability for Capedogs to actually re-engage and engage onto the side of Olympus. They're Ornn, immobile. Nocturne, immobile. Cassio, like, you know, doesn't really get boots, but is kind of fast, so I guess kind of mobile. And the Nautilus is whether or not he gets caught, and his ability to, like, hook on the walls makes him as immobile there. The ability to kind of disengage isn't there from the side of Olympus. Like, as we're even watching this trade go out, we're seeing the Shen dash. He's flashing, and he's still, I feel like, gonna get away from this. Oh, die. And then I'm wrong. You know, he still dies here, but, you know, it took a lot of resources, and it took a lot of effort from the side of Olympus to just get this kill onto the... And then another good, like, you know, catch out by the side of Olympus. Reels gets the shutdown. Another Ziggs kill. And as they're biting into this choke, the splash damage is going to come out from Ziggs. Will Nautilus be able to be useful enough? But with the side of Aphelios coming in and the rest of their team on the other side of the map, this is going to be another objective given over to the side of Capedogs.
You know, I respect the play from Olympus, though. I mean, they have no words in the red jungle. They just knew that with the jungle making up place outside that they were gonna be looking for vision in the jungle, or that Capedogs would be looking for vision in the DZG jungle, and so they tried to make something happen. But I mean, they're just so far behind that at this point, whatever they do is just gonna end in the trade unless Capedogs really throw.
It's the good responsive play, I think, from the side of Olympus, or at least Capedogs. It's that you see that, you know, Olympus is making a play topside. You have the ability and have the numbers on the bot side to actually make that play and actually generate more of a lead for yourself. It's not the worst thing that could happen. Yeah, your Shen dies here, but what does it really mean in the grand schemes of this game when you're already up, you know, 2K, 3 Drakes?
You know, Ornn caught out here. Does get the walk away. I mean, with mid-tower broken though as well, it just gets even harder for Olympus to really make anything happen because their jungler is no longer their jungler. You know, it's Capedogs stole the deeds. It's theirs from now on. So it's just making it really hard for them to even attempt to find a pick with the Nocturne, to even like find a way to get Ziggs in a decent position, because wherever they go, you know, Capedogs will know.
It's going to take a troll play from the side of Capedogs to really screw this up. I mean, yeah. Being down 9 kills, like you're down all objectives, you're down except for 1 Herald. It's kind of hard for the side of Olympus to really recover here. Like, yeah, the gold lead is only what, 2K, but what does it really mean when you're like down? You're on your enemy team has soul point. They have the tower advantages. They have the ability to generate pressure that you don't necessarily have for the side of Olympus right now.
We also not to mention too that the Dragon Soul will be a Mountain Soul, and so it's one of those things where like it makes it even harder for this Nocturne to find any use. I mean, they just can't really walk into Capedogs.
Yeah, you're not gonna be able to burst down the 80 carry as Nocturne when he has a massive shield and armor and magic resistance buff from the Dragon Soul. It's just not gonna happen that, you know, the way that you want it to be a Nocturne.
Right. It's gonna take some magic.
Yep. There's got to be a lot of gathering going on for this to really happen for the side of Olympus.
I like that one.
Yeah, thank you. But all jokes aside, it's gonna be an uphill battle. You know, Olympus is gonna have to move mountains to really make this game work in their favor. They're gonna have to go for an epic steal with the Nocturne. They're gonna have to get a good like shutdown onto the Ari or the J4. they're going to have to basically play 100% perfectly from here on out for this to be as effective or as meaningful as they would want it to be.
Well, the only thing you can't say about the Olympus players is that they definitely have no fear. They will fight till the death.
No. I don't disagree with you on that. The ability for Olympus to really like take their last stand somewhere is real. And so, speaking of reals, he's being locked down by the J4. Ari Charm, he's going to take a bunch of damage. The shutdown goes over the J4. The Nautilus is going to be in, he's going to have no way home from here. And he is going to die here as well. We're seeing two of the major carries here, or not major carries, but you're seeing two players here actually fall out and give another advantage over to the side of Capedogs. They're gonna look for a Baron play here, I think. And you know, as I say that, they're going and starting to go ahead and make that play. They're going to stretch this advantage as far as they can take it.
Olympus don't want to give it for free. They'll do whatever they can to pull them off. Rules does have TP, so they buy enough time. It could turn into a good fight.
Will the Nocturne get the kill here? He goes ahead and tries to get the lockdown onto the J4. He gets the kill onto the J4. But, you know, there's an even number of players on the board here, but the side of Capedogs is still infinitely stronger than Olympus.
Very true. I mean, Olympus just wants to back off and then just reset. They stop the Baron. I mean, they can maybe attempt to stop the Dragon, but it's a bit of a risk.
We're seeing the TP down from the Orin. Olympus can try to go ahead and force this objective here. The J4 is still down. They don't have the assistance of either jungler right now. But if they can melt this objective, it could be worth their time and effort. But it seems like they're just going to try to pull it out. The Shen is positioning aggressively in order to maintain this division. We're going to see the side of Capedogs come in. We're seeing the Ahri kill the Nautilus. We're seeing the next Orin fall because of the Aphelios. We're going to see the Nocturne get this Dragon. It works out for them, but they're going to take another risk here, and by losing more and more of their players. We're going to see some major towers fall to the side of Olympus here because of this play. Yes, you have stalled out the Dragon Soul. Yes, you have like gotten some kind of, you know, breathing room, but it's not enough to make it or break it for you.
I also wonder with the Bruiser J4 and Aphelios, if they could have maybe not have done Baron there. So you have the two Adam Aphelios.
Yes, I think that you could do it, but I think being on the opposite of the map and wanting to try to like salvage your situations elsewhere on the map, I think that Capedogs tried to take that play and just be like, hey, we just got this major lead. We don't need to try to go ahead and rush everything else and just go ahead and salvage everything else on the map. We don't need to go ahead and lose CS. We don't need to go ahead and take tower damage on our side lanes. We can just wait for Olympus to come back up, and we can bait this next Dragon out in order to get another big play from for our side and get some kills onto our carries. We're looking at a 10-4-10 J4, a 6-2-12 Ahri, and a 6-1-3 Aphelios. All the people you want to have gold onto have gold onto them.
Yep. Well, as you said, Sloan City wins the race. Olympus is scope pretty decently though. I mean, the game's not necessarily completely doomed, but it's just very hard.
We're going, as much as I like that they're potentially going to get this kill, and they don't even get the kill, we're going to see the Baron start here because Nocturne is on the opposite side of the map. You know, like, it no longer is a threat of a steal. If we can see the Aphelios melt and smelt this fucking Baron, we're going to see a play and get the Baron buff. We're seeing Reels almost die. We're seeing the engage from the Shen, from the ulti. We're seeing them lock down one of these members of the... We're seeing them lock down the Nautilus. Reels is standing with low health. We're seeing this J4 almost get this Cassio. I think this is going to be a close fight, but even then, the Aphelios is just splashing damage onto the members of Olympus. Where this ends up being a 1-4-3 play when we're already, like, the Capedogs is already threatening a Baron play.
I mean, like I said before, even though Rose has a ton of damage, and so does Cassiopeia. They just can't keep up with the enemy team. I mean,
The
they have
range
no.
that Capedogs has does not, far exceeds the range that we're seeing from Capedogs right now. I don't really think that much happens here. I think, at worst, the Shen dies, but he's so safe right now and so beefy. Okay. Whew. Okay, but I mean, hey, that's not the worst. I mean, like, we see the Thresh die, I guess. That could have been way better for Olympus and way worse for Capedogs, but hey, at least Zig's got the Thresh, like that's one less member on the side of Capedogs who has this, Baron buff.
Courtesy death.
Yeah, it's a courtesy death, of course.
Courtesy death.
Although
Ziggs did lose his flash there with the engage of Shin, and I mean, you're looking at Capedogs. You got flash on Shin, flash on J4. It's gonna be really hard for Reels to find any way to survive this. Because the moment he spotted in vision, they're just going to like absolutely jump on him. And
but we are seeing this Ophelio absolutely get obliterated trying to go for this red solo. I mean, it's not to say that they're, Olympus is really back in this game, but holy shit, they are making something work here for them. They decided to take this advantage and generate, this lack of vision in the side of Capedogs and turn it back into their favor. They were just picking off people left and right. We're potentially seeing, like, the return of Olympus, whether or not they can fully lock this in, they're going for it.
Well, with the Capital J4, we can set up vision for Dragon. I feel like it's still gonna turn into a fight though. Just a bit of a risk.
I mean, we're definitely gonna see a fight still here. Like, I think even with the down member, like, we're gonna see another contest for this Dragon. Right now, Olympus has the slight advantage as far as vision goes. Like, yeah, they don't have like vision in the river itself, but they do have some kind of vision leading into this this Drake. They're going to be a little behind with the Ziggs recalling. They're going to be a little behind with their Nocturne being on, leaving their side of the map. But
this is good for Olympus. They're walking into a choke point, into a Ziggs like a Cassio. This is really, really winnable.
Okay, but now the game has changed. We're seeing the hard J4 engage with the Shen ulti. The Nocturne engages back onto the Aphelios. The Aphelios kills the Nocturne. We're seeing Reels, the Ziggs die immediately to this J4, and it's tough. This is sole point for Olympus. Not for Capedogs. Capedogs goes ahead and gets this other engage onto the Cassio. Cassio falls to the J4. We're seeing the flash taunt from this Shen. The E4 from the J4. We're going to see this Orin fall in this position. This could potentially be like, base breaking type situations. Capedogs cannot end this game yet, but they are definitely in a position to open up this base with these timers right now. We have 30 seconds, 20 seconds, 10 seconds. There's the ability to maybe at least break open these base turrets, at least for the mid lane.
Yeah, I mean, a bit of a misposition. Nautilus goes far when it comes to losing a team fight, but I mean, not to say that the game is necessarily winnable, but it's still maybe winnable. I mean, if they can catch Capedogs walking into a choke point, into a cast Zigzar, I mean, it doesn't matter how far behind you could find a way to make that work. But it really comes with them finding that early positioning, which is really hard to do, obviously, because you're so far behind. You don't really have the vision for it. But I mean, it's either roll over and die or attempt that, right?
So we're seeing a hard lockdown from the side of Capedogs Valor. That was a good CC chain, and from the charm to the Shen taunt, like, it's not much that Mobster Penguin was able to do in that situation. And it seems like they're just going to try to, Capedog is trying to bait out and try to get a repeat of that exact combo. But with the Nocturne ulti in, plus the Orin and Nautilus lockdown, I think we're going to see the Ahri die here. We're going to see the Shen die here. I think that this is going to be a decent situation, but we are seeing this J4 come back in, the old come in, the Aphelios old coming in. I think that this is a tough position to be in. Olympus is on life support right now.
I mean, they did everything they could, right? They found the positioning. Rose wasn't really there to give them a little bit extra damage they maybe would have needed to win the team fight. I mean, they're just so far behind that it's just so hard that things don't fall in the right place.
We see a follow-up
They're just timing them at the inhib. I mean,
yeah.
Good luck in esports, Bert.
This is a very, like, this is literally the roles reversed of game 1. Like, sure, it feels more bad for Olympus, you know, because, like, your number, as far as numbers go, it looks worse. But, I mean, hey, you ended the game, you know, 9 minutes ago, almost, as, like, you know, it's really, like, 5 minutes. You've ended 5 minutes ago as Olympus, but this is a bloodier game, which, as I said in, you know, as we were talking about the draft, you know, how this might work out for Capedogs. Capedogs are playing very bloody right now, and it's working for them.
Very much so, very much so. I feel like this game was really like the story of like the stronger mid jungle duo. We talked about it at the start of the series, like,
So we're seeing this lockdown come from the side of Olympus. I don't think we're gonna see this Ahri because this Ahri fall because she's just dishing out damage. And she doesn't. She ends up trading this 1-for-1, support for support. But, I mean, with Nautilus being 1-in-14, I almost say it's more beneficial for Olympus since the Thresh is 0-5.
Very much so. If Casca survives, would definitely be worried.
Yeah, I think we will see the cast survive. I don't think without Jarvan being there, Jarvan is literally on bot side right now, we're not going to see this, like, hard engage and try to lock down onto one of these carries here that we saw on the top side of the map.
I mean, like you said earlier, right? Slow and steady wins the race, and so they're just trying to be very cautious and methodical with their play. And just trying not to give any shutdowns to anybody on the side of Olympus.
I'd hate to put my foot in the mouth right now and say that, like, you know, there's no slow and there's no possible recovery for Olympus. Because you look at the Casio has the potential to recover. The Ziggs will recover at some point. Oh, but we're seeing this engage from the Casio and the Lauren. Seems like a kind of like play. You know, they're getting something, they're getting some damage. But will we see this Ahri fall and give a shutdown? No shutdown on the Ahri right now.
Well, I think it's possible, yeah.
This will be a big deal. But the Shen's gonna ulti here does not buy enough time for the top lane combination. A steal! A blast cone steal over the wall from Olympus. This is a good play here. You know, this is kind of a big deal. This buys enough time for Olympus to generate some kind of recovery.
Okay, I mean, you know, Cass is 3 items, Ziggs is 3 items, you slow the burn, right? You're buying time. The comp is hard, but I mean, it's not impossible, right? Like,
yeah.
The longer the game goes, the more possibility for Olympus to win, right? I mean, the Cass is already shredding Shin. The Ziggs is already just able to chunk Aphelios to half HP with just one ability. I mean, like, it's just about like you said earlier, like perfect play.
The only late game threat here is the Aphelios, I feel like. Yeah, the Ahri will always hurt. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying she's going to be useless by 40 minutes, but I am saying that the Aphelios is going to be the main source of, like, consistent and strong burst, like, DPS. Especially as we start seeing this, like, this Elder come up. If, let's say Olympus were to get this,
this makes it break the game 100%. And it's totally winnable for Olympus, for sure.
I think the fact that they have made it this far, despite being down all these objectives, despite being down all this gold, it's going to be rough.
Oh.
Ooh, the Nocturne falls.
Nocturne caught.
Yeah, that is the rough one. The E2 from the Jarvan, the follow up from the Aphelios. This is gonna be game. I don't see this continuing. The fact that they're getting Elder right now and they're already preliminarily getting these mid waves up and pushing, it's gonna make it tough for Olympus to come back.
Olympus needs positioning there.
The
Olympus
Nocturne getting
these
caught.
positioning there, and they just couldn't find it.
We're not seeing a Hail Mary come through twice for the side of Olympus as far as major objectives come.
Yeah, probably not. We're just gonna march on mid and just maybe just take the inhib.
Yeah, we're seeing the prayers come in from the side of Olympus, pinging the fight from doubles play. I mean, everybody's been there. You know, what do you do when it's like this is looking rough for us, other than fight from doubles? Unless we see some like really cheeky like you know, patches here. Oh, so we're seeing something like that. But will we see the Shen die here? There's a lot of low members here across the board. But with the Elder Drake coming in, it's going to go for the side of Capedogs.
Yeah, I mean, you have to respect the attempt, but in reality, Olympus just wanted to try the best to wait out the Elder Dragon and not get baited into that fight.
But I think the problem is that they did get baited into the fight. They decided that they thought that they could win that with the members being low, and it ended up not going for them. They ended up dying here because of this.
At least the series isn't boring, that's for sure. Dominance from both sides in game 1 and 2.
Rough. And that's GG's. I mean, I think is this going to be blue side wins game? What do you think?
I think it's just based off mid jungle or early game. I feel like the mid jungle on both sides have obviously proven that like that's their goal, right? They want their mid jungle to be strong. They want to be able to affect the map and like to get a lead on their carry players. And I feel like it's about finding a way to have XV2 winnable on both sides. That's what
if
they're
you
really
look at
for.
that, like look at the damages from the Ari and the J4 versus the Nocturne to the Casio. They're based on what the information you're providing is, there's data to back it up. You look at the J4 and the Ari versus the Nocturne and the Casio. It's definitely looking like that synergy is very important to both these team comps.
Yeah. You just gotta find a way to enable your game plan, right?
Yeah, you know, as generic as that is, you're right. I mean, like,
it's really just as simple as that, right? Better mid jungle wins, right? And I feel like both teams have a really strong mid jungle, but if you draft something like Olympus draft, it's really hard to execute, which makes it really hard to kind of like, you know, use that game plan.
Yeah, I mean, you did say that the draft tip, I think, initially was a big deal. I mean, I agree that the consistent DPS from either side was kind of rough, especially when you look at the range of Capedogs. But, you know, maybe there's a world that this works out. Everything works perfectly for the side of Olympus. You're just straight up better than your opponents, but I don't think that we saw this game this time. But with that, I think we are going to go ahead and take a break here in preparations for Game 3. This is going to be a silver scrapes of a game, but best of luck to us. Okay, and we're back for Game 3 of DZG Olympus versus Capedogs. Will this be the blue draft diff of the season? Will we see DZG Olympus use the power of first pick to get the win in this series?
What do you think the first pick would be, though?
Ooh, that's tough. I don't know. I think it solely comes down to the bans that we see here. And I think as of right now, we're seeing fucking bans come through for mid laners exclusively. We're seeing the mid lane bans come through.
Like we were talking about earlier, you know, it's mid jungle right now. That's what both teams really want to play around. And so, I mean, draft can really like make or break that whole ideal.
Yeah, it's gonna be mid jungle diff. I mean, that's gonna be where it's gonna come down to. I think maybe if we see maybe like Cassio come up, we maybe see like a Ari ban, something to kind of play into that matchup more favorably. Oh, so we're seeing straight up just the Jinx lock in, you know, which kind of makes sense. This is kind of a contested ban for Capedogs as well as Olympus. Our Jinx has been just a strong pick for ADC right now. It's typically being like Jinx, Caitlyn, maybe a Vayne type of deal. But do we see yes, we see the Aphelios come in as the follow-up to counter that Jinx. And we see the Leona to go to support him for this lockdown, as well as the Thresh afterwards. So we're gonna see like maybe like the Leona try to go, you know, long range like Q into the Jinx, and we'll see the disengage from the Thresh to prevent that engage from the Leona.
Rel.
Will we see the Rel though?
That's even better though. I feel like the Rel allows the bot lane to not only just disengage but to also engage, right? With like Rel and her stun. I mean,
I agree with you. Like, yes, Rel is Leona 2.0, but both suffer from the engage problem of like, oh, whoa. So as I was talking about the engage of like Rel 2, like, you know, Leona 2.0, we see the J4 get locked in. This is going to be a situation where Olympus hard commits to engages. They hard commit to fucking picks. They're going to try to get like as many wombo combos on the board as possible.
Unbench the Kidge.
I want to say that NA was the first person globally, or at least NA, to get a penta on reworked Tom Kench, but he does not come through. We see the Dr. Mundo for the safe. Yeah, you know, I kind of wanted the unbenched Kench. You know, I was the first person to get a penta on him post rework, but we see the Mundo. We see the kind of lame Mundo come in for the safe solo time spent top lane champion. And I think we'll end up seeing a champ that does percent health damage. I think top lane. We won't see the Camille, obviously, as that's banned. But I think we'll see maybe like a Shen come in or something, you know? Something that'll provide the extra engage and utility that Olympus is looking for with this comp.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe that the last two picks for Olympus might run the Cassio back with the J4, which is really strong 2v2 in the mid lane, right? With the Shin. Like you said, one, it enables the engage, but I mean, also too, it's a hard matchup for Mundo. I feel like Mobster's Cassio was actually pretty decent last game. I just feel like he didn't really play in a comp that allowed him to really like activate, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I think that makes perfect sense. When you look at the abilities of that comp, like, you want them to engage into you, but the enemy team other than J4 is really like playing like J4 and Shen is playing a poke comp, but you aren't able to scale appropriately because you're being engaged on hardcore the entirety of the game before you can really make the difference that you want to be able to prevent those hard engages from the
Poppy is such a good pick here.
Yes, I think with the double dash cancel and a Poppy sip myself, Poppy provides a lot of utility here. Your J4 is going to get canceled. Your Rel is going to get canceled. If you take anybody more engaged, you're going to get canceled. You're going to have a bad time. Especially when you look at like how close range Jinx is. Look at how close range Rise is if that gets locked in, which is a popular pick for, and there it is. It's a popular pick for the mid lane Monster Penguin, and it gets locked in. But the thing to consider here is that if J4 goes ahead and ults somebody, Poppy can just straight up just E them into that terrain, and it's just a rough experience for whoever is the recipient of it, because you get CC'd for the entirety of your death animation.
I mean, it looks like Olympus just looking for some nice front-to-back team fighting, some space for the Jinx Arise to just unload damage, basically.
And I think we will see the Ahri again. I think that the enemy mid laner, you know, Frosty, has really showed that he can carry a game on a champ that is known for being solo queue worthy and not necessarily competitively worthy.
Very much so. The pocket pick, maybe.
I think if it's a pocket, it's a front pocket.
Left or right, though?
It's definitely a left. Who the hell has a right? Well, no.
I use both pockets, man. I put my wallet on my left and my phone on my right.
Okay, no. But I'm talking like shirt front pocket, not necessarily like front pants pocket.
Oh, shirt for pocket? My dad actually has a button up that has two pockets. It's weird.
That's that. Yeah, I mean, like, unless you have like a jeans jacket, like, why would you have a front pocket? Like, I don't know. I'm trying to think if I have like my leather jacket has like a front pocket, but I think it's a right front pocket.
I so happen to pick the only jean jacket in the world that doesn't have front pockets.
Ah, so it's a hipster jean jacket.
Yeah, I'm so cool.
Yeah, dude, the coolest. You have like some buttons or like some like iron-on like like what do they call them? Decals, essentially.
when I clean them, I have to show you. It's like a jean jacket, but it has like a it's like a zipper and a button.
A zipper jean jacket?
It's so weird, but it looks nice though. I promise you, I look good.
Okay, I mean, like, I'm gonna take your word for it, and then the chat's gonna have to take your word for it, but, what do you do? Other than play Ahri, obviously, as we are still talking about the game of League of Legends. This entire scenario has been a giant allegory or, like, hypothetical for the reference of,
massive metaphor.
Frosty playing Ahri into this team. Which I think if Frosty plays the exact same that we saw in Game 1, we're going to see a monster stomp from the Ahri again.
I do think, though, that even if Ahri does get ahead, though, Olympus does have, like, the ability to stop them, right? I mean, with the modified ulti, it's hard to obviously lock Ahri down, but, I mean...
When you have the Rise, plus, like, you have the Rise stun, plus Malphite ulti, plus Rel, like, knock-up and ulti, plus Chompers, plus J4, you know, EQ, plus ulti. What do you do?
Rise has a pretty decent time rooting Ahri, right? Like, I mean, she even if she does get ahead, the game's not necessarily doomed. It's very, very, like, playable to handle them. I think also, too, on the side of Capedogs, though, like, it's going to really be on this Aphelios to, like, not get caught, to output as much damage as possible. I mean, versus this team, Aphelios really, really likes Olympus, but it's more of the fact of, like, how well can him and his team, like, set him up for success, right?
I mean,
and this is like a really skilled matchup in the bot lane, so I'm just trying to figure, like, you know, like, it's
the thing to consider here is that, yes, at peak, Aphelios does, I feel like, out DPS Jinx, but the window that occurs is much smaller than Jinx damage. Like, let's say that Jinx gets a single kill, she's gonna be able to outmaneuver and outdamage a lot of her counterparts, which is why she's so strong right now. Yes, Aphelios is good, and, like, I'm not gonna say it doesn't stand a chance of, like, winning that matchup, but it's a lot more situational based on the guns that Aphelios has. And I don't necessarily know that, you know, if he doesn't get locked down, that he's going to survive. Like, if he gets locked down, it's going to be...
He's just doomed.
He's doomed. And I think with that, I think we're going to go ahead and just swap over to a break. This is going to be the silver scrapes of this game. Cue the music. It is going to be a tough one. Hopefully the Ahri or the, like, Rise is able to, like, be... It really, like you said, it comes down to the mid-jungle combo wombo. And it is going to make or break, potentially, this game. But with that, we are going to cut to break. It's the Silver Scrapes. We're here with DZG Olympus versus Capedogs Valor. It is the game of games. Which team will out-team the other team? So we talked a lot about like the similar stuff that we saw in Game 1 versus Game 2, and I think now we're seeing the hard engaged comps kind of being swapped around from the side of Olympus, from Capedogs being switched to Olympus. We're seeing Olympus having this really hard engage that we saw from the side of Capedogs, and now it's the opposite now. Like we're seeing the disengage kind of being shown from the side of, God Jesus, we're seeing this strong damage coming out, and I thought this would be over by now, but we're seeing double flash being bursted by the Poppy. The Mundo is going to throw some axes around. We're now going to see this Leona going in extra hard after the Mundo and Malfighter just beating each other. The Ignite's being burned, the Flash being burned, and Aphelios once again is going to have an advantage. He is going to get the first blood. There are a lot of summers passed around. The Leona now will not have Ignite for laning phase. The Poppy will not have it for the Flash engage, nor the Mundo will have the Flash early to kind of set up some of the stuff that we were kind of hoping for that would be later. And now we're just seeing straight up, there's a lot of summoners down. Flash from the Rise down. Flash from the J4 down. Ignite from the Rel down. A lot of things got traded off that we would not have seen outside of this really aggressive back and forth from both teams level 1.
And like you said before in the draft, right? It's mid jungle. Which mid jungle can make the synergy work? And I feel like with Ahri flash up, then they'll flash on the Rise. They can really make a play on this Rise, like level 2 to maybe attempt to get Ahri to start, hyper carry in the early game.
So the thing is with clear. Yeah, and no, and Poppy isn't going to full clear and shouldn't full clear. I am a Poppy geek to some extent, and I would say that I don't necessarily even agree with like the 5 camp clear is good. It's not great. I think that you should take this advantage that you have with the Rise Flash being down and get an early gank. Your Ahri has a flash available. You have these abilities that you can at least chunk him and force like some kind of reset that you wouldn't have had otherwise. So the thing is, and this is kind of niche. If you look at the bottom left terrain that Rise has next to him on his side of the map, that is a free, and I mean free stun from Poppy that you can just straight up take advantage of. And potentially get a kill. Like, if you're always able to chunk out this Rise, or you just want to kind of force him off of the wave, you could do that with Poppy early. And I think it would be the best for Poppy to spend time mid while the Flash is down on the Rise. Rise is a medium to low range kind of champ, Like, what do you do other than take advantage of the fact that he does not have a escape tool?
Very much so. I mean, Poppy basing will look like Leo may run mid, and they might look for 3 men on the Rise, as we were just talking about.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely possible with Leona just running it down mid. It seems like bot is trying to
flank. Look at this.
I think
he stays.
He stays, but I think that there might be some spooky little trade here for the J4 to Poppy. The thing is that, like, Poppy E is pretty... Oh, here it is. Yep. But we're not... Ooh, we're going to see the death here come... But the Poppy, does he... Oh, very, 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 very lucky here on the side of DZG. One more auto out from either or would have made or broke that situation. We would have saw Rise fall there and go to a kill to the Ahri. And now we even might still see go to a kill, go to the Ahri. The Rel shield comes out. The J4 is able to escape. Will the Rel get out? Yeah, she pops a post. There's no charm available for the Ahri, and it kind of ends up being 1-for-1. But that was very close, very, very close. I think it was an aggressive move from the Poppy to try to like move position and move that way. And I think she popped Flash, or did she pop? I don't know if this is just a bug on the side of the spectator view, but it seems like Flash is down now. I don't know if Flash is available to her based on that play. I don't know if you're seeing this as well.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that she Flash E queued and then passive autoed. And
what should have happened there from the side of Poppy was you should have W'd in order to get the movement speed that you needed. And we're also seeing this pause come in. Hopefully it's a short one. I hate keeping you guys locked in. But what we should have seen from the Poppy is Poppy should have W'd for the movement speed increase. You should get that. Then, as you're getting this lockdown from the Leona, the Ari, you should flash E back away from the turret and get that extra stun duration down. Because that, like I said earlier, that wall is a free wall to E into. And you will almost guaranteed get some kind of like advantage from that wall. The pause breaks and we move back into the game.
Bit of a fight over the Tri-Bush.
Yeah, and then we're seeing another weird spectator freeze. Though it seems like it wasn't that long. We're seeing the dynamic trade of two meatheads in the top lane, just duking it out, followed by this kind of back and forth rubber banding of the bot lane wave.
Yeah, I mean, bot lane both are just looking to scale. Obviously, if they're looking to win lane, it's definitely through CS and wave management. I mean, it's just really just looking towards the jungle about, you know, who can like really get their lead going.
Yeah, and so we're gonna see the early dragon of go over to the side of Olympus. K4 on the top side. While Olympus does have vision, there's not like a really meaningful way I feel like for them to stop this from happening unless they're just gonna go ahead and take for the kill here. They get the lockdown onto the Poppy E to the wall onto the Octofu, and now they're going to rotate back onto the dragon and prevent any kind of further like advantage from the side of Olympus. At this point, you have the number advantage, so you're down. Your Rel and Malphite died in that play. You don't necessarily want to take anything super risky. This is just first Drake. We're seeing the Jinx have to flash out, to flash down, but the E comes in, flash from the Mundo, plus Mundo ulti. We're seeing flashes coming left and right. The death comes over to the side of Capedogs. The Poppy E onto that wall ends up being a major play in this transaction once again. That duration of Poppy E plus the length in which Poppy can actually E there is huge. I know that I'm gushing, essentially, for Poppy, but there's a lot of dynamics there where Poppy just ends up being really useful as a utility jungler. We're going to see the re-engage, and I really think that Poppy should E into that, like, Jinx there, or at least into the Rel. There's a lot of positions where this ends up being worth it for Olympus. The Jinx has no flash. He's going to try to recall here, but Mundo is on his way. There's the ability to re-engage here and win this fight by the side of Capedogs.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they had a really good timing on Dragon on the first start. They caught DZG off guard. They attempted to kind of salvage it, but had a really disjointed fight. I feel like with the 5 men there, you just finish the Drake, and then you just kind of reset the map. But they kind of five-man bot, and then they greeted the bases a bit. And I feel like that's going to actually kind of give DZG still a chance to maybe turn the game around. Obviously, it's still in the favor of Capedogs, but it gives them an option to.
It does. Yeah, you're right. It throws the game into question to a certain extent. Like I was, with the Aphelios being 2-0-2 right now, I initially want to say that Capedogs still has the distinct advantage, but you know you get you're down 1k gold. Like that's not a lot. You're down a Drake. Not a big deal in the grand scheme of things. There are ways for you to really come back and not be in a poor position.
Yeah, and I see Philios goes Kraken Slayer over Shield Bow. I feel like he needs more of the damage to shred the tanks rather than trying to survive the dive itself. Shows a lot of faith in his support jungle. And then a retro start from Heartbreak here.
Yeah, I mean, like, we see the prio from mid. We see the kind of neutral lane state from top. Yes, the Poppy is on the top side of the map, but Capedogs doesn't have vision of it. So, unless we see some kind of aggressive play from the Poppy and Capedogs, this should be a DZG Herald here. Like, that's it, with no ifs, ands, or buts.
I feel like if you take this mid, you can really like start to pitch this rise, CS lead ahead.
Yep, and you know, Olympus does get the rift here. Oh, EQ onto the far Ari, and she just has nowhere to go. It's Spider-Man nowhere home here, no spoilers, but somebody dies, and it was definitely the Ari.
Well, I mean, like I said before, mid jungle diff.
Mid jungle diff. That is correct. Oh, but we do see the kind of counteractive play here from the side of Capedogs. Obviously, the Olympus has the advantage here because they have the rift. They have the ability to get some kind of extra gold here, and it works out for them. They get the turret that they wouldn't have had otherwise. Like, they make the better utilization of the play, and they do get more out of it. But now we're seeing this really aggressive fight over. We see Rise die. And I mean, so long as Day 4 doesn't die too, it's okay. But we will see the Rel die here. But the Ahri bleeds too much. The Ahri moves too far forward, takes too many tower shots, and ends up dying because of it. You know, that's definitely a
bit of a miscalculation. I feel like the Ginsu was definitely dead to the ignite there, but
yeah, there was no need to go for the extra auto. I think. Extra risk, no extra reward. Right. Very classic DZG Tony vision, which is myself. So definitely a risk there that would not necessarily need to be taken in that scenario.
Very true. Drake coming up soon though. It looks like Capedogs will probably have first move to vision here though. Their Philios is pretty strong. I mean, 11-minute Kraken Slayer. Once he gets his base off, I'm assuming he'll have full boots. And, yep.
Extra Poppy geek moment, but I'm very happy to see that Poppy is going Divine Sunderer. She has the Sheen. She has like the second component. Has the completed Divine Sunderer now. Plus the boots. I do think I would have liked to have seen an earlier boot from the Poppy, so that way you had the Predator earlier. But I mean, the main thing you want to get, and this is extra niche, is you get the Sheen, then you buy boots, so that way you get the Predator boots, and you just start doing awkward chunks of damage onto your opponents. But hey, you got the boots, you got the Divine Sunderer. You know, do what you got to do to win. Let's just hope it plays out for him, Cotton.
Yep. 5v5 gearing up for the bot lane. Malphite has TP. Interested to see how this pops off.
I hope that we don't see a choke point fight for either team, in all honesty. I think fighting in chokes is not necessarily great for this team, but I think if we see a Malphite involved in this fight, it becomes more worth it for the side of Olympus.
Like you mentioned last game, right? Aphelios can only have certain effects with certain guns, right? And he definitely does not have his guns for a.
Seeing the Ahri card come in, the Ahri dash, the big flank, Malphite. Holy cow! We're seeing this go very well for the side of the Olympus. Yes, we're seeing the fact that it ends up, it's 2 for 3 fighting in the back. Watch 3 for 2 fighting in the front, but it works out for Olympus. They end up only losing the Malphite here, or I think maybe they lost to Rel here, and Rel just revive, came back off of the timers, but it doesn't end up making that much of a difference for Olympus, and it ends up giving them the next Drake. And now off of this play, they're ahead. They're gold instead of down gold. It ends up being more worth it for them. Yes, the Aphelios is still a threat. He is 4-0-2. He has his Kraken. He has his boot. I don't know if I like the boost that he's taken with the Merc Treads or the Ninja Tabbies for the real OGs, but you know, hey, if you think that you're gonna be taking that much auto damage and like your positioning is kind of iffy, props to you, I guess. You know, if you really think your chakrams are gonna provide you enough damage when you have the right guns, it doesn't make a difference. But hey, I'm not the ADC player. Maybe I am just wrong here.
Well, as the ADC player, I can also concur that the boot spire are a little targeted towards J4, I feel like. Maybe he feels like the Malphite, if he positions well, won't catch him, but the J4 with his Flash R and his EQ combo over walls probably will. And he's looking to just kind of, you know, shred the front line, survive the dive, just kind of, you know, be a DPS survive bot, if that makes sense. Which is a bit interesting to me because he's building to survive a little bit, but he chose the Kraken Slayer still. I feel like...
Yeah, no, I definitely think that as somebody who plays Kindred... Oh god, we're seeing a big lockdown from the side of Capedogs. Like, that was a beautiful wombo combo for the CC chain. And it will work out for them. But, you know, now we're seeing the Malphite ulti for the double knockup. The Relic ulti, the EQ from the Jarvan. We're seeing the big comeback here. But the big target here is still alive. The Aphelios is still just getting kills and being funneled gold. As much as I thought that was a good play, it doesn't get who they need to be getting in these fights.
Yeah, I mean... Oh,
speaking of the devil, maybe EQ combo. Oh, and we get the shutdown over. Now the Mundo is dead. Will we get the Ahri as well? We see the Ryze ulti come in. Ryze is going to go ahead and take the portal. But now it's too late. We still get the kill onto Ryze. They are rising to the occasion. They are getting the kills that they need to get and turning this game over into their favor.
Mid jungle death, 606 J4, 4 kills on the Ryze with the Rift Herald. Maybe you can break top lane. I like you're definitely gonna start to feel this Ryze pretty soon as he starts to scale for sure.
Yeah, I think the chat. I think the important takeaway of this series is to really focus on your jungle mid synergy. Spend the time in solo queue. Play a bunch of flex game. Play norms. Have a beer together if you have to. If you're so long as you're of the legal age in your area. But there's clearly something to this because both games, you know, and now game 3, we are seeing the heavy impact of the mid jungle synergy.
I feel like something they should really say about Heartbreak is he does a really good job of turning and affecting fights. Every single J4 like ult or EQ catches a really important target. He's always finding a way to completely disrupt the opponent. And I mean, Lobster Penguin just does massive damage on this Ryze. Double buffs, 2 items already. Like, he just benefits off the setup so well. This setup from Heart Attack from Heartbreak.
I mean, Heart Attack. You know, what's the difference?
I mean, it's becoming really hard for like Capedogs to really find anything. Even though they're finding all these great angles, they're not really able to handle the J4, which in turn is just making it so hard for them to really set themselves up for success.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree. I think it's super great, super cool, and they just got to keep doing what they're doing.
Nice. Dragon up in 29 seconds, and then it seems that the DZG squad have positioning in the choke point.
Yeah, I know. I think right now we're going to see just kind of like try to position their waves mid and bot for this next dragon. We're going to see the side of Olympus try to position their wave states in a meaningful way to apply the pressure and grant them the advantage to get the control. Oh, Malphite ulti into that choke. We're going to see the big plays from the wombo combo on the side of the We see the Jarvan EQ. We see the Jarvan ulti. We're seeing the side of Olympus get the edge once again in these fights in the choke, which is important for them. You know, like, yeah, the Aphelios is really strong, but when you're not able to actually do anything meaningful and stop it, but when you see the Rise come in and just go ahead and hit full combo and auto miss 7 of the abilities, but get the autos that you need, what does it matter? And still missing. Do we get the kill? Nope. We kind of int there, but it looked good up until the point that we could not look good any further.
If we're right, that part of the sequence, you know, going back again, like Heartbreak with his J4 abilities, literally just caught 4 people, suctioned off all of their carries, and then once again, Rise just walked up and did Rise things, slammed his face into the people and did 80 million damage. So it's just the mid jungle's really coming in strong again.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, as you see, not having the jungler there as your mid tries to make plays apparently means your mid cannot succeed in that play. But hey, I mean, it happens.
I mean, Rise definitely can obviously, you know, play the game by himself, but it's just more the fact of, you know, the goal is to execute your comp as easily as possible, right? And you could definitely tell, like, the synergy between Heartbreak and Mobster is really, really strong because they only do things together, and every time they do is quite frankly fucking beautiful.
Like, yeah. When they do anything separate of one another, it looks double scuffed.
Yeah. Everybody's
like,
human, right?
Instead of getting red and blue, you're getting purple and like yellow or something. You know, it's the opposite of getting double buffs.
Yeah, it was interesting, the play down bot side, but
fun to watch. Definitely should be clipped at some point, I guess, as like some kind of satirical point to make for this stream.
Very much so. Looking for
okay, we're seeing a hard engage by the Ahri, who absolutely whiffs every special ability. But we're seeing both TPs come in from both plays. The Malphite literally ults away. It looked like to not int there. So while that may be down, the cooldown on that ability is very short, and it will make very little difference in the grand scheme of things.
You know, like, Olympus may be in the lead, but like the game's nowhere near over. I mean, Aphelios is 8-1, 2 items. He already has his Lord Doms. He pretty much shreds anybody. I feel like with the CDs here missing from Olympus, that they should maybe try to walk in and look for something, possibly.
Yeah, no, I mean, the thing is here, we talked about how important the J4 was last game and how fed he was. You look at how fed the J4 is right now. Looks kind of clean. Yeah, the gold diff is you know, like pretty high, but the kill diff is only like one kill. Definitely might be deceptive for whichever team if they're not making the right assessments that they would want to in game.
Very much so, very much so. Definitely some tall and handsome J4 gameplay coming in.
Bold and brash, more like belongs in the trash. But it's good. Yeah. Are you a chicken nuggets or a chicken tendy kind of guy? As we wait for nothing to happen here.
I mean, tenders. If I had to choose, tenders, man.
Yeah, I agree with tenders. Tenders are often more breaded, and less like just like fake meaty. Whereas like I feel like tenders gives you a good flavor and are more easily flavor coated in sauce. And now we're seeing the pings come in from the side of Capedogs, saying that there might be a potential Baron play. They don't really have the vision advantage, and now kind of realize almost immediately that it's not going on because of the Jarvan play. Rise is going ahead and try to generate some kind of like pressure on the bot side. He does have TP up, so if it ever becomes really that much of an issue, we're going to see him try to TP to make that play otherwise.
The Baron dance begins.
Yeah, this is the awkward position where both teams are kind of nervous to lose, and neither want to make the int play, and are trying to do as little as they can without throwing a game lead that they have.
It's like everything up will be. It looks like everything will be up on both sides, other than the TPs.
Yeah, it's gonna make for a bloody soul point fight unless Olympus tries to just go for the trade, which I mean, like, isn't a bad thing, but I don't necessarily know that the side of Capedogs is going to agree to that trade.
Yeah, but I feel like Olympus here just wants to use the Baron as um bait. I mean, you choose Dragon, we take Baron. You decide you want to fight us at Baron. We have a 8-0 and 7 J4 and a almost 3 item rise, right? Like, and Jinx actually is finishing up her Lord Doms as well. I mean, it's winnable from both sides, but I just feel like DGG has a little bit of the edge when it comes to team fighting. And
So,
so
okay, here's the thing. I think proper guns, proper peel. Um, I think Capedogs wins the fight. I think that good engage immediately wins the for the side of Olympus.
I agree. To be fair, Malphite has been finding like. Oh.
Okay, we're seeing an EU come in. We're going to see the throw away from the Poppy. The Poppy's going to head an E onto the Rise. The Rise is going to flash away. We're going to see the Leona get the shutdown. We're going to see the EQ go onto the multiple groups of the players. We're going to see the Realm pull people back into the things of the thick of it. But the Aphelios is able to get some damage off. He doesn't have the guns that I think are the most optimal, but he is still splashing damage onto his team. The Poppy goes and misses an E. Point and click ability, by the way. But the Ahri is going to die to the Rise. The Poppy E's away the Malphite. The Aphelios gets the next good splash auto off. The Jarvan is going to look for this EQ and get... yeah. Oh, no, that goes over to the side of Capedogs. It's close. Sadly, the shutdown does go to the Aphelios, who is now 10-1 and 4. That threat of the Aphelios is only getting bigger and bigger.
Like you said, right? You're right. I mean, it's just whoever can get the best engage. The Jinx was caught in the burn pit, couldn't really get anywhere, and so all of the DPS was pretty much gone, and it was left only to Rise. And it's really hard to get your damage out of Rise when you don't have a front line, right? Like one misstep and you're just dead. Yeah, so I think
yeah, the funny thing to think about here is that Olympus had a sizable gold advantage prior to this fight, very sizable. And now is pretty tied up. Like, yeah, they have like a 2K advantage, but it's not so, like, 2K doesn't mean a whole lot when your enemy team has the power spikes that they're looking for, and their main form of DPS is, as big as Mount Everest right now.
10-1 and 4 Aphelios just finished his 3rd item. He is unbelievably strong. Ridiculous amount of damage coming out from that man.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we're gonna see the Baron dance again here now that that both teams are kind of in an awkward state where neither want to really go anywhere. The Malphite goes ahead and TPs. They're gonna try to, I think, potentially force and bait out the Baron objective here. Malphite is going to try an ult here. The J4 going to try an ult here. You're going to see...
Windows a great TP flank.
It's going to be interesting here. The Leona goes on to the... Oh my god, big ulties from the J4 Malphite. Will the Ahri do the splash damage that she needs? The team is being melted by the Aphelios. The Jinx is by herself, but all members of Olympus are low. I mean, the Capedogs is low. So we're not going to see the Baron play from the side of Capedogs. We're going to see them try to generate the gold back into their advantage here. They are going to even this game out.
After the misplay of Dragon, right? Like, Aphelios is now just so strong that if they're not able to one-shot him, he will kill everything.
Yeah, no, it's tough. It is tough, and I think we're seeing the pings for the second forced play of Baron. I am afraid that Olympus is looking to just get really itchy and end this game out before the rest of Capedogs gets the equalizer here.
Very true.
I know that was a Rumble ulti reference. That was unintentional. I don't want to talk about junglers that I play just exclusively this game. We're seeing the Aphelios get caught out, but the Poppy... Oh my god, the Rise burst damage is coming in. We are seeing the good and incredible pick potential of the side of Olympus. They are going to force this Baron here. and they're going to try to end this game out. Now, will they be able to? That only time will tell. But there is no risk of this Baron really being stolen. The only members that can really like steal would be Ari here, who's bad. This is going to be a play potential and an LCS Red Bull Baron play.
I mean, it's looking pretty damn close. I mean, like I said earlier, right? If you're not able to insta burst the affiliates, he kills everything. But if you're able to insta burst him, then the team fight's just over, right? I mean, all of their damage is left to him and him alone. So, you know,
like, I'm sure if we pulled up the stats on gold separation right now, the Aphelios would be infinitely higher than the rest of his team. Most of the gold share would be on to the Aphelios.
Yeah, I mean, you just have to, you know, find the creative angle onto them.
Yeah, agree.
Props to Reels for landing that max range W chompers. That was actually really huge.
Yeah, no, the choppers here was actually I would hate to assign more. Okay, but we're seeing the flash EQ fail from the side of J4. He gets onto the Ari. The Ari is able to just ult out and dash away. We're seeing big ultis down, and we're not seeing that many from the side of Olympus. I mean, Capedogs. Yeah, they've got the Poppy ult down, and the Helios and the Mundo, who's going to serve as their front line, is still good. I don't know that this is a fight that Olympus wants to take, but they get the flash EQ. They get like the Malphite ulti onto the Rel ulti. This is going to be the caster's curse here, and Olympus is going to hit that like the exact opposite of what I'm playing for.
I mean, then wonderful 2-man Malphite ulti into a 4-man roll ulti. I mean, the team fight's just hard, you know, like Jinx is just free hitting 3 items. They're just ending, actually.
Yeah, they just end the game here. I don't even know why they're trying to take this dragon.
I guess they just want to flex on their opponents, bro. You know, ego, you know?
Yeah, ego it. Yeah, you only need Rise to end game, for sure.
Yeah, those AP autos are definitely balanced and should not be changed.
Yeah, no cap. Well, this was literally the Silver Scrapes, guys. I'm so glad that you guys were here to witness. It's a very shocking end of this series. It's definitely been silver and gold, and it's definitely been a gold series to cast for me. As in golden, definitely, not saying that their skill level is gold.
Whatever you say, man. Definitely was fun to watch, though, for sure.
Okay, who do you think the MVP was, though?
Of
all the entire series.
Mobster. I think it's Mobster, man. I think he, like, even when he was behind, he was still finding uses on his casts. I think that when they finally gave him a lead, he literally just was, like, outputting a ridiculous amount of damage. I just feel like he, like, I feel like with any different mid laner, that game is so hard. I feel like with him, it was a guaranteed win, no matter what happened.
I'm gonna say that the jungle diff is the only diff that matters. That's where I'm gonna go for.
I mean, as a AD carry, I gotta say jungle diff is pretty massive, and it's the only thing that matters in the game for sure, Kappa. But I mean, I don't know. I feel like the junglers were really setting up their mid laners and like better mid wins, 110%.
Yeah. Better jungle, the better game. No ifs, ands, or buts. And with that, I think that is our series. You know, thank you all for being here. Tune in next week for another stellar game from DZG Olympus. You will be graced and blessed with the presence of my voice and commentary as far as next week goes. And I look forward for you all being there. Thank you all a bunch, and see you next week.